Hello, this is Dr. Greg Mays with Your Word Wednesday. Years ago, I was riding to go play golf with a friend of mine. At that time, her name was Teresa Park, now Teresa Santos. We were riding and we were listening to praise music, and the song came on, Trading My Sorrows. As I listened to that song, I thought about the words, and it really struck me. And recently I had this thought. We may fall short, meaning that we may fall short of what God has called us to do. We may sin, but we will never fall short of God's redemption.
In Matthew's book, Jesus said, go into all the land. Take the word, share it, teach it, preach to every man. Just do his will, because he always has a master plan.
Today, I want to spend a little bit of time talking to you about the reality that we all sin. Greg Mays sins, not on purpose. I don't go out trying to sin, but I do fall short. I do make mistakes. I do fall short of what God would call me to do. And I'm positive that there are times where I have fallen short, even recently, in ways that you might think, oh, well, that's not a problem. But listen to this. If God tells you to do something and you don't go do it, that's sin. We see that in James 4:17. Anyone who knows the good that he ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. And we think sin is only robbing banks, hurting people, adultery, those things. That's what we consider sin, lying. Sin is anything that God tells you to do. If you don't do it, that's sin. It's disobedience, falling short of what God would have you do. And you may need to take a listen to that and then begin to reevaluate what you think sin is. Because watch this, your humility, if God says, I want you to pray for these people, and in your humility, you say, God, I'm not worthy, I'm not going to do it. Bro, that's a sin. It's not what you want to hear, but that's a fact. If God tells you to do it and you don't do it, that's a sin. Think about it like this. I'm moved a little bit away. I'm going to come back because I want to talk about how we don't fall short of redemption. But think about this. A parent tells a child what to do, and the child doesn't do it. That kid's going to get in trouble, going to have some kind of trouble. Same thing. God tells you to do something, you don't do it. You cannot expect God to bless the thing that you decided to do away from what he told you to do. Can we take a quick look? I know I'm moved away, but I'm coming back. But let's take a quick look at the life of Abraham. God told Abraham, you're going to have a son. And Abraham, instead of being patient, he and his wife conspired to use her maidservant, Hagar, to have a son, Ishmael, with Abraham. And so they did. But that was not God's plan. So that was sin for Abraham, even though he was acting what he considered to be in faith. Remember that. And your sin has consequences. Remember that. When God tells you to do something, even if it's something that's good, but you don't think you're worthy, you go do that anyway. I can't even tell you the number of times that I'll ask somebody to pray. Oh, I can't pray. Yes, you can, because you can talk. If you can talk, you can pray. But we all, I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to. Yes, you do, because you could talk. That's all prayer is. Your heart posture to God. And I watch this. I'm coming back. If you will stop deciding that God cannot use you in prayer, you would be shocked at the number of people whose lives you will impact. I talked about this in a Word Wednesday a couple of weeks ago about the football coach who was just being the light of Jesus Christ. And it impacted his assistant coach. And he never told her, this is how you must live. He just showed it. I want to encourage you. Stop telling God you ain't going to do something. Do what he's called you to do because he's equipped you to do it. Now, when it comes back to the fact that we never fall short of God's redemption, I want to take us into the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And we see Paul, and Paul is writing to the people of Corinth, and he's talking about weakness and the resurrection life. He's talking about how we may feel down, but watch what he says, starting at verse 8. He says, we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed, perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. And he says, we always carry around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. What's he saying? Well, first of all, in a very real sense, Paul was taking beatings in a literal sense. He was stoned. He was flogged. He got shipwrecked. He was put in prison. His body was quite literally being placed on the line for God. And yet he is able to say he's persecuted, but not abandoned, struck down, but not destroyed. As long as I have air in my body, as long as my blood is continuing to flow, as long as my brain is continuing to work, I know that I will be able to serve the Lord. I will never fall short of the redemptive work that Jesus Christ did on the cross. May I talk to you right now? Maybe you think that you have done too much. There's no way a loving God would forgive me. The answer to what you're saying is you're wrong. He will forgive you. God demonstrates his love for us, that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. The sin that you're holding on to because you don't believe God will forgive it, he will forgive it. The sin that you think was just too much, I know he could forgive these other things, but not this one, he will forgive that. You will never fall short of redemption, even though you fall short of righteousness. Allow God to be your Redeemer. Give your life to Christ. Trust him, follow him, and let him show you his love in and through your life. I pray that this is a blessing for you. And remember, stay strong.
So what you waiting for? Someone to feel the pain some more? Cause you ain't share the love, the grace you found within the Father's care. To share the love of God is more than just a simple job. It's Christ speaking the off a Holy Spirit law. Share it.